beautiful South Florida. There's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Miami Dolphins. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded inside the 5. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line.
The Vikings take over first down 10 at their own 20-yard line.
A first carry for a Miami native. This is Dolphin.
Now that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block, but the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. First carry now for Alexander Madison. And this will be a Vikings first down as he's able to get this up past the 40.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and putting the defense back on its heels.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Cousins. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there? You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. And going the books is a 7-yard loss on the sack. And it's third down.
Found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
Yeah, he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A big one there on third down. They hit for 30 yards.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
On play action, Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A very solid gain of 27. And defensively, these corners struggled last week. They're struggling again here early on the opening drive.
And you know that was not unnoticed on tape. So when they saw their struggle last week, guaranteed they went right into the game plan, attack them early, see if they're going to play any better, and if not, you keep the pressure on them until things change.
Flushed out right. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
Excellent recognition that none of his receivers were beating coverage and getting open, so he just threw that one away. They'll come back to the huddle, reset, and try something different.
Cook will take this into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Now, this is a crew. They've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You'll get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Once again, it's Mostert. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. Pressure comes, and down he goes.
And Daniil Hunter, he's the one who gets in there and brings him down to the ground.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. First down throw for Cousins.
This ball complete. It's an out route to Thielen. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 42-yard line.
Again on 2nd down. Cousins. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
How about the timing on that one? Where they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Cousins toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
Well, 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. Cousins. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
4th down, field goal try coming, so Cousins is off, and on comes Greg Joseph from Minnesota.
The kick by Joseph is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So a touchdown on their opening drive and 3 more here, and it adds to their first quarter lead.
Yeah, everything's going according to plan so far because the offense has moved the ball, defense able to do their job, and here the special teams unit comes through with their contribution. A field goal to make it 10-zip.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
Yeah, they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week, and you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. So 8 yards on the completion there, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and just a couple.
The Dolphins at 2-3 here to begin the new season. Charles, they were losers last time out. What do you think they need to do differently here?
Well, I don't think it needs to be as drastic as burning up last week's game tape or not watching it, but the attitude has to be what's done is done. Let's move on. Put that one behind them, galvanize themselves, and go forward and get a win in this one.
7 yards there and a 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 46. Tua going to throw.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling. Held it to an okay gain.
On 2nd down, Mostert.
And he's going to be stopped just short of the 1st down marker at the Vikings 37. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Give him 3 yards there on the 1st down pickup.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Now they'll throw with Tagovailoa.
He'll dump this off, complete to Dobbins.
No gain, and it's 2nd down.
What a dimension this man brings to this defense. He had his mind set there that he was going to get in and make that tackle. He really flew to the football.
And you can just see that whole play developing. That's where, as a defender, you just lock in on your target and say, I'm not even thinking about breaking stride. I'm running straight for the belt buckle because where it goes, that's where you find his body. And he was able to get in there and make a great play.
To throw again on 2nd down.
Tua, they set up the screen for Dobbins. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down.
Getting this out to the flat, Mostert.
And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 13-yard line. A sizable 16-yard chunk there. The drive continues.
And they'll use him out in the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago, there's another one right there.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. A man who missed all of 2021, this is J.K. Dobbins.
And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage.
Andrew Booth making the tackle.
Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
Well, this drive, they're a perfect 2 of 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need a full 10 yards here. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line.
Picked by Cameron Bynum. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
And as we've seen, points have been precious so far, and they just threw some away on that snap. And look, let's face it, as we advance further into this game, that play will be on the minds of everyone who's watching it. They wonder if this is the turning point. Is this the spot where those points were given away and could cost them a ball game?
Game clock at 2:01. Time for one final play before the 2-minute warning. 1st down, here's the run with Cook.
And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Adam Thielen, a terrific wide receiver and synonymous with Minnesota football. You go back to high school, college ball in the state, and now his 9th season with the Minnesota Vikings. 10 touchdown catches last season, makes a nice catch there.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Cousins gives way to Cook. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5.
45 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
Now Cousins. This is caught. Touchdown, Vikings.
Justin Jefferson.
His 4th touchdown on the year. And his guys now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead.
Joseph connects on the extra point.
And that makes our score 17-0.
Dolphins, nothing.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points. But
it's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Dolphins.
And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And it's 17-7. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And not an abundance of time remains on the clock, Charles, but you would think more than enough to try to extend this lead before intermission.
And when you're talking about extending the lead, I think you're talking about aiming for the end zone because there is plenty of time for that. The fallback is to get 3. But in your mind, you put 6 on the board right before the half. That's a heck of a dagger and great momentum to carry into the locker room.
Cousins' throw pulled in by Jefferson.
Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Cousins to throw it. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Rowe.
And the Dolphins will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
Well, look, we're watching a quarterback here that's obviously been around for a long time. That's a throw he wishes he had back.
He certainly does, but as you well know, this is a guy that's used to taking a few chances, used to fitting it into tight windows. These are throws that he's made before. Didn't happen to get it completed in this case.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw here taken in by Gesicki.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line.
Couple of Alabama guys there. Tua to Waddle for the Miami first.
Tagovailoa working out of the gun. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
Tua, the final shot before half. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter.
Takes it at the 7.
Dolphins take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense.
Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, Charles, just some visibly frustrated players and coaches on that sideline right now because those halftime adjustments didn't work. The turnover problems continuing here in the second half, and the defense now sitting pretty comfortably as a result of that pick six.
I think that's a great observation too, Brandon, because they did make adjustments at halftime. But how about this other group staying a step ahead despite whatever happened in that other locker room? No surprise they're leading, and it's appropriate that those defenders got to add to the lead directly.
And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Second down, here's Mostert again.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And some room to work. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
60 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on third and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on third down.
Third quarter from Miami. This is 2nd and 10.
Now Tua. He'll take a shot for the end zone. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins.
In today's NFL, we talk about quarterbacks and their speed and accuracy, but there's still something about a guy slinging one downfield.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead down to 10, 24-14. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And does that?
He's got a man, complete.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
That one good for 37 yards. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the third quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
Even with the good gain, I thought they might accept that one.
Yeah, you thought maybe they'd go with the downs as opposed to the yardage. So if you're taking the yardage now, 2nd and less than 5, that tells me you feel good about how your offense is working.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Cook following the penalty.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line.
13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Up the middle, it's Cook. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up first and goal.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Here's Madison running on first down. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
And now defensively, you have to look at this like the game's on the line. It's just the third quarter, but another touchdown given up here could really spell an end to their chances, so they need to toughen up and keep them out of the end zone.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
Third and goal for Cousins.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins will take over here at their own 12-yard line. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, third quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
After the turnover, it's Tua. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8-yard line. They get 5 yards on the run there. Still left staring at a third and about 14.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. On play action, here's Tua. And that will be incomplete.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
54 yards on the punt there, 15 on the return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
Back now in Miami. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll go Madison up the middle, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. credit Melvin Ingram, able to get into the backfield and make the stop. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
The Vikings on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Cousins now.
Got an open man finding Jefferson.
And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphin 16. Excellent play there on third down. Give him 25 yards.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now Cousins.
Swinging this out wide here for Cook.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Only able to gain a couple there. And that'll bring us to a 3rd and 4.
Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Dalvin Cook, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter.
Joseph now to have the PAT. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17.
Dolphins 14. Greg Joseph to kick off for Minnesota.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Let's go.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack. Just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Under pressure, and they got to him again. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
Now on 3rd and forever, he'll look to throw. He's going to look deep down the field.
Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the 3rd time.
Picked off by Harrison Smith.
And the Vikings are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line.
Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it, and that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory.
Working with a 2nd and 4.
Now a give to Madison. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine.
Back to the ground on 1st down. Here's Madison.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll try the middle with Cook. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
On 3rd down, Cousins.
Justin Jefferson bringing in the slant.
And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 27-yard line. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
On the handoff, it's Madison.
He'll take it inside the 25.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that 4th quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the 4th quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for the Vikings, they climb back to 500 now at 3 up and 3 down. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Miami, they can't quite seem to turn things around as they fall into 2-4 now on the year. And they'll look to get back on the beam next week as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers.